Hi everybody. Okay, I'm back, and yesterday we spoke mainly about the two Andrews. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor and Andrew Lowry. All I have to say to some of the commentators is that the more lies and exaggerations are put out into the media, the less chance there will be that Andrew will be successfully charged and prosecuted. If you don't believe me, then go ask your own solicitor or barrister or lawyer, whatever you call him in your neck of the woods. Don't take my word for it, okay? I'm neither a lawyer, barrister, or a solicitor, but I do consult with professionals when it comes to important stuff. And it is true that the burden of proof lays with the prosecution. So, say Andrew Mountbatten Windsor is charged, let's say, with solicitation of a minor. I'm just sucking that out of my thumb, okay? As far as I know, there's no talk even of possible charges alleging sexual misconduct, at least not yet. But let's imagine for a moment there were, and it goes to court, and 2 out of, say, 5 allegations are swiftly proven to be false. Then the case is practically over, even if he is guilty of any one or all of the other allegations, because right there and then they established reasonable doubt. So that is my issue with the things that aren't factually correct, okay? So it will basically cost, at that point, bringing a rotting corpse into the courtroom to prove Andrew guilty. That, and that alone, is why I keep pushing Lowry's narrative. I actually received communication from one of my few trusted and regular contributors after my video yesterday, also cautioning me, number one, because a lot of what is said about Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, even by Andrew Lowry, is indeed true. So, okay, I do not for a minute dispute that. Okay? It's the other things which had been exaggerated that I am talking about. Number two, she confirmed that the 40 may have been 4, as the Hyatt Hotel would have complained if there was more, because Andrew Mountbatten Windsor is not their only high-end client. Okay? And number 3, she basically confirmed that it is indeed Charles who is doing what he can to prevent Andrew from going to court, likely out of fear for what will come out about him in such a case. We have just seen exactly what Charles fears playing itself out in Harry's case against the Mail or A&L. And I'm talking about Burroughs not only denying working for the Mail, but he also went ahead and proved that his signature was forged, and he also piped up and said that the only time he worked on anything Harry related was when he went to China White, the nightclub, trying to locate Harry's drug dealer. How embarrassing. Well, this is exactly what Charles is afraid of. And that is why he also interfered in the case against Paul Burrell. The Royals can indeed go ahead and sue me, but I firmly believe those cassette tapes in that wooden box containing Diana's talks with a former young valet, George Smith, and letters from Prince Philip to Diana, and allegedly, apparently, 16 other cassette tapes containing recorded sessions between Diana and her voice coach, were indeed stolen by entities from the palace on instruction of either Charles, the Queen, or Prince Philip. And my guess would be the instruction came from Charles. Now, strangely, 12 audio videotapes of the voice sessions were returned to the voice coach and actor Peter Setterlin in 2004. Now, don't think no one ever questioned it. The reply was purely that those cassettes were removed from the wooden box before Burrell took the box. No, I don't think so. I think someone slipped up. I think George Smith told the truth, and that is why he was destroyed, physically and emotionally. If he was purely imaginative, distraught, or crazy, why would they, whoever they were, risk accessing Paul Burrell's home and stealing those cassettes? Now, to this day, Diana's sister still believes that Paul Burrell still have those tapes. I do not believe it, and I'll tell you why. Paul Burrell would have made a multi-million-dollar deal by now to release those tapes. Imagine their worth, considering that George Smith told Diana that Michael Fawcett, R.A.P.E.D. him, and that he caught the current King of Great Britain in a compromising position with Michael Fawcett. I mean, Paul Burrell never ever would have had to work again if he still had those recordings. No, I'm sorry, I fully believe that it was stolen and destroyed. So, in my opinion, Charles finally convinced the Queen to stop Paul Burrell's trial because it was far too risky for him and for the royal family at large. And I think history is now repeating itself. And I have this tiny bit of nagging suspicion on me that Lani maybe not directly, but somehow encouraged to spread falsehoods in order to confuse and distract from the real stuff. And Lani was allowed to add just enough truth to solicit the kind of reaction I am getting from some of you. Does or would Charles even care that it appears that Lani is likely an anti-monarchist? No, he doesn't care. In my opinion, Charles would gladly go down in history as the last King of England. Okay, guys, now let's step over to Harry for a while. And let's say it as it is. Whether he likes to admit it or not, or whether he even realizes it or not, Harry is in deep shite. I hear that financially they are struggling, but my darlings, you must also realize that where many of us survive on $1,000 to $5,000 per month, Harry and Meghan likely can't survive on $100,000 per month. We are talking designer gowns, we are talking a $20 million property, we are talking multiple nannies, and so forth and so forth. Anyway, finances are one thing, but Harry has another problem far, far bigger, and that is that he no longer knows whether to believe anything coming out of his wife's mouth or not. You see, as time passes, Harry realizes that it's just to make the story more palatable or more interesting for television, is no longer holding any water. Harry started to realize a year or two ago already that Meghan has no problem lying, but he honestly thought it was about minor things, and like she said, in order to protect their privacy and make it more interesting for television, that kind of stuff. He fell for it hook, line, and sinker. Man, oh man. I mean, he was or is so thick that when Meghan allegedly said she thought Andrew was the butler, it did not register with Harry that Meghan, by her own admission, met and knew Eugenie, Misha, Nunu, and Violet von Westenholz long before she met Harry. So how the F could she not know who Andrew was? Well, these things are now starting to sink in. A different thing every day. Slowly, on a daily basis, Harry is reminded and waking up to something different. And it is sinking in that Meghan's entire life story is mostly fake and filled with lies and drama. Harry now knows that Meghan lied to him and that she does not really like Africa. The twiddle in the bushes, etc., was all just a role she was playing to hook him. He now knows that she did not really like her engagement ring. Another faked reaction and lie. Lie upon lie upon lie, and now they are supposedly doing a footballer's wives copy, just with polo as the sport of the day. Do you guys remember Footballers' Wives, which ran from 2002 until 2006? Well, from what I hear, Meghan's polo drama will be very, very similar. So similar that it is the opinion of one of my informants that Meghan borrowed from this script of Footballers' Wives. And Harry, well, he knows it, but he can't go anywhere because she is threatening him, saying she will tell the truth about the children, allegedly. Allegedly, Meghan has quite the arsenal against Harry, but the kids are the main weapon, or so I hear. I also hear from the same person that Meghan in particular have been trying to get out of the Australian visit. Well, my informant says she thinks it is Meghan rather than Harry, but it could be Harry, as the supposed inquiry came from the office of the Duke and Duchess. But apparently, allegedly, the message was clear. You, my dears, will go to Australia. She says that once they are there, she will send me the detail. For now, she wants to keep some of it to herself. The newspapers state that Meghan is afraid of being booed in Australia. This person says Meghan has good reason to fear that. there had been talk that Meghan may decide to take one or both of the children in the hope that it would prevent the people from booing her. But the person whom I chatted to, like me, does not believe any such thing will happen. She did, however, say something very interesting. She said Charles knows full well what the kids look like. She also said that among the many things Harry is now questioning is Lily's paternity. She says he has made a couple of sideways remarks lately, but always as a joke. But she reckons it is no joke. Okay. Now, we'll see. This information was rather vague and mysterious, but we all know that Meghan sometimes put things out as a fishing expedition to measure the public's reaction. So I thought, well, why not put this mysterious information out and see what kind of fish will bite today. Okay, guys, that is all from me. Please take good care of yourselves and stay safe. Bye.